If I could, right now, I would go back to high school just without the classes. I always want there to be something I want to get to.
Yeah.
Because mi nikifika inamaanisha nimedai.
Hello parents, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've come to the final episode of our special edition of Father's Day series in 2024. We're looking forward to do this more, but today we're doing the final episode of the year. I am joined by one amazing gentleman who wears different hats. He is a tech influencer, he's an artist, he'll tell us more about that. He's an actor, he is a father, he's a husband. He'll be introducing himself in a short while. We are still shooting at Sayari Pride Inn, located along Muthaiga Road. Please pass by, have a conversation with them, get some to enjoy the serenity in this place, get to enjoy a glass of wine with them or some of their different cuisines. Allow me to welcome our guest today. I am joined by the amazing Daddy Marto.
Amazing tena. Hey. Aya, sawa. I shall not argue with you.
Amazing guest who has graced our cover before with your beautiful family. And we are so honored to have you. We are so excited for this episode to learn more. Because the last time we met you, yes, you were a father, but I think the family has grown, right?
Yes, I was a father of one, then I'm a father of three.
Father of three, interesting.
Shucks.
So we have the father of three, the husband, actor. We see now you're in media, you're in tech space, you're in entertainment, you're everywhere. And so we are happy to catch up with you today. Allow us to welcome you officially. Uko aje Daddy Marto?
Mimi niko salama. Funny thing is, you say now you are in. Yet for me, I've always categorized myself under three areas: performing artist, content creator, media personality.
Okay.
Everything I do
has always been there.
Falls under one of those three.
One of those.
Yeah.
So you've always been there.
I've always been there.
Okay.
I've always been there. It's just that I have not been, probably exploring a certain product. So I have talked about farming. Yeah. I have talked about construction.
Yes.
I'm talking about tech. So,
You've talked about different spaces.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that correction. So please allow me to allow you to introduce yourself, not the way Grace knows you, but the way now Daddy Marto. Who is Daddy Marto? Want to kusikia from majina ya ID? Who really is Daddy Marto?
All right, so my name is Martin Gidenji.
Yes.
AKA Daddy Marto, performing artist, content creator, and media personality. Yes.
You've left the most important title, which is the reason we are here.
Oh,
husband and dad.
Well, that is not my work.
It's not your work, but it's who you are.
That is why I work. It is not my work.
That is why you work, not your work.
Yes.
But that's who you are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I am a husband.
Yeah.
I am a father. I am a son. I'm an employer. I am a friend. I am a colleague.
You're a brother, maybe, a son.
Yes, I am a brother as well.
I'm assuming all
and
those things.
Yes.
And now I'm here to learn more about that and also with our audience. But now let me ask something. In this show, we care about food, we care about you and your family. So it's very important for us when we say, I'm a husband to how many? I'm a father to how many? What to tell the audience? They don't ask them confusing up and say, yes.
Right, so I'm a husband to one. I am a father to three.
That's it.
A beautiful family that I thank God for every day.
Yeah.
They are my reason for being. They motivate me. They give me my daily mission. Yes.
And before we even get to where you become a husband and a father, maybe if you can give Grace a bit of a picture of how you grew up and our audience also, they know that we're both eager to learn about who is Daddy Marto from where did he grow up, where were you born? Yes. So let's start with where were you born? Where was Martin Gidenji born? I
was born in Jama Hospital in Uhuru Estate in Nairobi.
Yes.
But we didn't live in Nairobi for long. Most of my formative years, I grew up in Isiolo. Yes. Okay. So I think my dad was a civil servant. So he was a district officer in Maua Meru, then moved to Isiolo. So of course, we moved there. Yeah. So I think since I was 2 years old or so, I have mostly grown up in Isiolo. Left Isiolo in I think after primary school. My family, or rather my mother's family, my dad's family moved to Thika. That's where I was when I was in high school, when I was in campus, till now. That's now where my mom is based. But most of my childhood, I grew up in Isiolo.
Okay.
Unajua mali Isiolo iko?
Apana. Sitodanganyana on camera. I've seen Isiolo on map and I have heard of it, but I've never been there. Me, I'm being very honest.
Tembea Kenya.
Tembea Kenya.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Martin is born in a family of how many? Do you have siblings?
Yes.
Do you have? Yes. Please take us through that.
So it's always funny. So we are 4.
Yes.
Siblings.
Yeah.
But 3 on my dad's side, 3 on my mom's side.
Wait a minute, now you've lost me.
Before my dad met my mom, he had a daughter.
Yeah, okay.
Then my dad met my mom.
Okay.
Then they got 2 sons.
Okay.
Where I was my mom's firstborn son, but my dad's second-born child.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's firstborn child, my dad's second-born child.
Yeah.
Then my brother, after me. Then after my dad, separated from my mom has another daughter. Yes, or my mom now has a daughter. So daughter, my dad, daughter, my mom, but the 2 of them sons. Yes, so that's why I say we are 4 siblings, but 3 dad, 3 mom.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, do you mean they are named after your dad's side or your mother's side? That's why I was like, wait a minute, now I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so being in a household where you were the first born of your father, or rather the first son of your mom. How was it like growing up with your other siblings? Who is Daddy? But was he the troublesome child?
No, actually no. I'm the firstborn, so
you have to be responsible.
It's unfair to us firstborns, man.
We shall survive. Why are you being emotional?
No, yeah. So I didn't grow up with my sister from my dad.
Yeah.
So I've mostly been the firstborn.
Yeah.
So firstborn. Then my brother came in 4 years younger than me. Then my sister came in 18 years younger than me.
What?
So actually, interesting story is she's the one who called me Daddy Marto.
Wow.
So we used to go to, when I was in Campo, she used to come visit me over the weekend. 18-year difference. So clearly people would be like, hey, what is happening here? So ile tu kushtua wasichana hapo hivi wakisumbua uni mtoto wa nani? Naambia si mimi ndio daddy. Hebu muulizeni, daddy ni nani? Anasema Marto. Daddy ni nani? Marto. So kidogo kwenda nyumbani, mom said, "Hebu sikia Kenya sister yako anakuita." Sikia Daddy Marto. That was it. And I took the name, used it on social media when it was starting back then in 2008.
Yeah.
Just as I was thinking, I didn't want to use my official names.
Yes.
I just wanted to use something interesting. I didn't know I was creating
a
whole brand, a whole blessing and curse at the same time, because kuwa baba ni mzito. Anyway.
I was like, where is the curse coming from? No, I see the mubaba part. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually was eager to learn about how Daddy Marto came, of course, and where the name came from, because it's a very interesting name. You've not even started using the name. You started using the name before getting a family. So I was so curious.
And when I joined Facebook in 2008.
Daddy Marto, your sister must be very proud.
Yes, she is. Yeye ufurahi sana.
Anasikia vizuri.
Though you complain hanionagi sana because I'm always busy. But
Daddy ran away.
Daddy has to do the things Daddy needs to do. Yeah.
So you already had Daddy before you even got your own.
Amen. That's what I'm saying. My blessing and my curse.
Firstborns. All right, interesting. So Daddy Marto grows up now with your siblings, playing the role of a firstborn. And the firstborn from Yongo is the second parent. So you're always playing the role of being a parent as well. What was the perks about that now? Because tumesikia wewe ulikuwa mbaba kidogo. What was the pros and the cons of this situation of being Daddy Marto?
Well, I don't know. I think probably I'd say it was a training ground for me, just to prepare for who I would eventually become.
Yeah.
So my adjusting from being a firstborn and having parental duties and actually being a parent, to my children, the transition was a bit easier compared to, one who would ideally be receiving parentage. And then now they have to be the parent. They're like, yo, when did my life change? So for me, it was just a smooth transition. Okay.
Smooth transition.
And I'm a go with the flow kind of person. We move regardless.
Yeah.
if there is, vitu zikikwama, unatafuta alternative. I'm more results oriented than problem focused. Will not dwell on something. If it's not working, it's not working. We move, find other ways of making things work.
Interesting. All right. Now that takes me to what we've just been discussing before we started rolling, and you were like, you're always busy, this busy guy. So now see where it came from. I think it's a good training ground from what you started.
Yes.
Now it makes a lot of sense more. So Marto, where did you go to school? From what did you school in Isiolo?
Yes, I schooled in Isiolo till class 8. I first went to Little Angels Primary School, then moved to Hekima Primary School, then went to high school in Embu Kangaroo School, then went to Kenyatta University. Yes.
How was your high school experience? I want to ask about that. I don't know why.
I keep on saying, if I could, right now, I would go back to high school just without the classes. Because I enjoyed everything else.
Just without the classes.
Just without the classes. Because of course it wouldn't make sense to me now. The class wouldn't make sense to me. But I'd go back to high school just to relive that experience again. Because I think one of the best gifts my dad, without knowing at the time, ever gave me, despite the fact that they were separated from my mom, he just told me, when you go to high school, no matter how many events there are, no matter how many activities, no matter how many clubs, join all the ones you want. Do all the activities you want. If they need to be paid for, I will pay. And without knowing it, he was setting me up to be the person that I am right now. I keep on remembering that in Form 3, because that is your final year of enjoy maisha before now the stress of Form 4 begins. I think the whole year, I can count in one hand the number of weekends I was in school. I was actually in school. And if I was if I was in school for a weekend, I'd be away the next week, the whole week.
Okay.
Like it was
For drama
so
or
interesting. So there was drama. So I was drama club chairman, debating club vice chairman. I was part of the history club. I was part of the physics club. I was a tennis captain. I used to play lawn tennis. Like there was always something. If it's not games, because you have the music festivals at the music festivals second term, drama festivals first term, and you start with the district. You start with the zonal, then you go to the district, then you go to the provincials. Kibatika mnaenda nationals. So there was always activity, and then our school at the time, Kangaroo School, for sure guaranteed would host the zonals and the districts. So for sure, every weekend where there were these activities, even games, zonals, districts, always Kangaroo School. So the only thing that would be a big deal for Kangaroo School was if we hosted the provincials, which we would once in a while as well. So if I am in school and not away from school doing something, it's because the things are happening at school.
Okay.
Yes, that sort of thing. So I really engaged. I think it helped me in shaping my personality, getting to know people, how to deal with different people from different walks of life, and just being the social being that I am.
It tells a lot about how even confident you are to be chairman hapa, vice chairman pale. Did this stem from your upbringing, primary school? Where did this start actually?
I think system kujichocha. We tap ourselves on the back and we move very quickly. We just came naturally. I can never tell you where it came from. So I just know it's something that I've always had.
You've always had. And I feel like you had you'll tell us about it though, the relationship with your dad. We're very curious to learn that. This is Father's Day series, right? We want to know your relationship with your dad before you even go 2 years with your sons. And I feel like he had identified who is Marto way before than you did. Because why a parent would even tell you, join Kila Kitu, I'll pay. Most parents, from even the stories we've captured on parents, always be like, focus on studies. The other activities are just a by the way. And some parents, I have dealt with students in my earlier life being an instructor in school. So most parents go like, you have a limitation of 2 or 3. I don't want to hear you losing focus. But your dad says there's something different. He says, join everything. Whether it costs me money, I'll pay for it. So he had identified something.
So interesting thing is that is the one thing. That is the one thing that is a complete opposite to his relationship with me, that I would say one benefited me because we actually did not have a good relationship. So he left Kenya in when I was in class 3. The next time I saw him was 18 years later, when he came to visit. He had a strange relationship with my mom, of course, because of the separation. Sometimes, of course, which is not a good thing. Parents throw their kids in between the two of them. You take sides. I tried to always not take sides. That, of course, brought me into conflict with him as well. As at now, I'd say very recently, he actually apologized, which was very strange to come from a Kikuyu man who was actually a DO. Who was a DO.
Now that one was more strict than mine. Imagine mine. And mine apologized as well.
A Kikuyu man who was a DO. I actually said, I apologize. It had been a whole drawn out, tunakosana, tunapendana, unakuwa disowned, tunapendana tena. Then, towards the, in the recent past, because I had, when I saw him the first time, I was, I was going through my first marriage.
Yes.
He came for my rorashio. Then, unfortunately, we separated. Akasema hata ya pili hata kuja. It is fine. Tukaendelea tu na maisha. So I think it was just recently when I had a conversation, he called me by mistake. He wanted to call my brother. Then he realized it is
by
me.
Mistake.
Then he was like, oh, okay. It is you, Kosalama. I'm proud of what you're doing. I am sorry. I know what I have put you through. I am sorry. I said, it's good. It's good.
It's a good thing for him.
But the one thing I always keep on saying is that without knowing it, he gave me the best gift, which is something I hope I will never name my child. That open yourself to everything, know what is for you and what is not for you, and then release the ones that are
not for you. All right. To be honest, that is not, the way we know that Marto is a very social, jovial person. I never thought actually would get, I have never had that part of your story. So it's an interesting one to learn. I have been there in that same situation, like, I think I've experienced the same thing with my parents, and that thing of putting you in between. One day you're daddy's girl, and the next moment you two are colliding and you're separating and all that. So I totally understand, and I can tell you, I might not fit in the exact shoes of your story, but I resonate with it so much. The same thing happened with my parents. So I totally understand where you're coming from. You say, my dad is not a bad person. He's a good dad. He gave me this and that. But at the same time, there was this side of the story that was not as beautiful as maybe I've never told it out. So that's interesting to know. But I love what you're saying and giving him his flowers, that there's something he did unknowingly that actually brought Daddy Marto to where he is.
Parenting is such, like, the one thing I keep on learning about parenting, it's such an experiment. And the one thing for sure that parents can never guarantee is who children are going to turn out to be. Because children do not come from us. They only come through us. We are the conduits from which, through which they arrive. But they do not come from us. They will pick things from us. They will learn things from us. But they will eventually be who they will be for themselves and by themselves. There are influences, there are shapes, of course, here and there, but people still end up being who they
God
were meant
created
to
them
be.
to be. All right. So when is the separation happening, and what's actually, how does it affect your life, and especially who you're becoming? Even the confidence that you have, you expressing yourself so well. Where does this now transition of your parents come? This separation at home, of course, it affects you in a kind of negative way.
So because he left in, because I was in class 3, it was 1995. He left in 1995. So
you're very young at that time.
When I was in class 3, I was 8. Yes,
8 years.
95 I
Oh,
was 8.
okay.
When he left, ilikuwa ni man leaving, going to search for greener pastures. So we'd still have the relationship continue. We'd talk, send letters, tumetuma barua.
Nimesikia ulikuwa posta leo.
Airmail per avion. Phone calls, of course, before we eventually, of course, transitioned to emails.
Yeah.
Yani mimi nimepitia zote ni smoke signals tu
na drums.
drums. The excitement of uko wapi, uko ni saa ngapi, just to understand how time zones work.
Yeah. Your mom allowed you all that, the conversations.
Yeah. But then it was only when I was in high school that I found out that they actually have a strained relationship.
Oh, okay.
And he remarried. But we'd still talk. Eventually, when he came during my ratio, we had the first deep conversation. He tried to explain to me why there was a separation between him and my mom.
Yeah.
To me, at the time, those are things that did not make sense.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting into my very first marriage.
Yeah.
With time, you get to understand. You do not agree with how. I keep on saying, I don't agree with how he did some things,
yes,
but I understand
how
he got to that point.
Yeah.
Like, I would not judge him.
Yeah.
Because there are things, unless you experience or unless you get close to experiencing, you can never understand
them. Yeah.
Why people do the things that they do.
Yeah.
So it also opened up my mind to accepting that you'll never fully understand why people do the things that they do. Because you don't live under the same set of circumstances that they do.
Yeah.
Something as simple as apple juice might be trauma to you.
True.
And it's okay with me. So judging you for it's apple juice.
It's just drink it.
Yet for you, mentally and emotionally, it triggers something different in you. So I might not understand, and I always keep on getting into arguments with my wife for this. I might not understand, but I will agree to it. Because there are some things, even if you force yourself to understand, unless you have the same set of circumstances as the other person, you'll never understand them. So you might as well respect it and agree. Lakini nyinyi wanawake mnataka, you need to understand.
You need to understand me. Now. I don't care how, but you need to understand. I think honestly, that's why I have even given you my part of the story, just a bit of it, like to tell you I understand. Might not be the same circumstances, but it's something that I share with you in common that I feel like some parents don't actually know even the effect that it has on children.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's both positive and negative. Sometimes the times it's just so negative.
I think I got lucky because I don't know where I got it, but I had the mind to not accelerate or throw petroleum into the flames. That was whatever they were going through. Because I was brought in where I'm not going to be sending you money, I'm going to be sending money to Martin. So that's my dad saying he's not going to be sending money to my mom. So me in my mind I was like, mom is the one who manages the home. Me, I'm still in high school. So why am I keeping this money? The money would come, I just give it to mom. You're the one managing the home. Where's what? School fees nitaji kulipwa. Wewe juu utalipa saa ngapi, wewe bora ikuwe imelipwa. That was it. So I don't know, it might have been the aloofness of my youth as well, but it helped protect me. Because when the same circumstance was presented to now my brother, because mimi sasa nilikuwa mzaya alianza kuona huyu anapea mama yake pesa sana huyu. Na nakwambia like see, we are alive, we are well, we are clothed, we are fed. So she's doing what she is supposed to do. Because when the opportunity came for my brother, he took it. Ndio akakosa sasa mimi ndio kusema. It strained my relationship with him, it strained his relationship with my mom as well. And then eventually my dad admitted to have been playing a divide and rule tactic so as to manage his resource to us. But eventually one day we sat down, my bro realized what my dad at the time was doing, on a call when we were there together. And then he's like, yo, okay,
this is not
kumbe nilikuwa nikifanyishwa PE hapa. Okay, let's move. I apologize. Tuendelee na maisha yetu.
Because I think even me, for the best advice that I was given before now we move on to the next thing, was for me to not take sides. These are your parents. They met before you. You are not even existing. So these people met and they're two adults. The best advice I give to even people who are in homes that, have issues, whatever issues, broken homes as they love to call it, don't take sides with your parents.
Yeah.
They will figure it out someday.
Because they'll always be your parents.
Yes, they will always. Hakuna mwenye unaweza toa damu yake or something. They're both your parents. Respect them. Don't take sides.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely is something that's nakupigia makofi also for doing. Yeah, you don't not drawing them aside like I'm with mom or something. It's just I respect you, you're my dad. So okay, send the money. I respect you, you're my mom. Shika pesa. Yeah, doing it. So that's commendable. That's a great thing. Now, your relationship with your mom. Was it now also the closest, or was it also having issues? And did your mom ever know who Marto is going to be a creative and all this? Did she ever see that?
I can't exactly say if she did, because well, for sure, of course, my mom and we are okay. We are okay.
Yeah,
I can't say we are close.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when the transition happened, because I switched from being a son to a co-parent.
Yes.
To my mom.
Yeah.
And you see now that depending on me. Actually, I think it was immediately after high school when I started doing traveling theater. I think that is when it happened, because I finished high school in 2004. My small sister was born in 2005.
Yeah, when in Baba.
I think I'm in Mubaba. So when that transition happened, I think it switched in her as well, because now the expectations became of more than just my son. It became wewe sasa ndio unatuangalia kwa hii nyumba. So I don't know. There are dynamics that changed, of course. I weep for that boy who would have enjoyed hanging onto their mom's bosom kila wakati mami. I miss that, but that was probably not for me. And I accept it, and I have no complaints about who I am right now.
Interesting. Okay. Now you move from high school, and then now you're transitioning to the next level, which is?
After high school, I did traveling theater first.
Okay.
I joined theater immediately after high school.
Yeah.
So that was my first job, traveling theater, going to high schools, performing set books, etc. Yeah. So I did that for 2 years. Then during that time, I was, juggling between joining university or waiting to see if I'll get job admission. But then when I was to join JQuat to do actuarial science, I was to join USIU to do computer science.
Smart.
Then by the way, nilikuwa. But then when the opportunity came and JAB called me in to KU, I said, let me just go to KU instead of spending all that money for a parallel degree. So I joined KU. Best decision as well.
Yeah.
Because true to God, KU is the best entertainment hub.
Oh, thank you.
KU is the best entertainment hub. It nurtures entertainers very well.
Oh, entertainers.
Yes.
Very good.
Mimi ninasema yangu yenye ninajua.
Exactly.
Wachana na hiyo wimbo.
Hiyo wimbo.
Hiyo nitakataa. Hiyo wimbo ikiimbwa litakataa.
KU alumni is standing for you and with you. Interesting. So you go to KU. What are you pursuing? And before tuende kwa KU, I'm feeling the energy of a smart kid from primary. Kama kweli Marto, how are you performing in school from primary to high school? Mtu anaenda USIU kuperform, unachukua courses bigi, computer science, actuarial science, nini?
I thank God for my brain. I have
very smart.
I'm multi-skilled. I'm a polymath. That's how I manage to do many things. They might be falling under these brackets, but there are still very many different things. I got into Form 1. I even got in a bit late in admission. First exam was number 2. Second exam I was number 3. Third exam was 4. Fourth exam I was 5th.
What was happening?
Fifth exam I was 6th. Sixth exam I was 7th. Then the 7th exam I was 18th.
Guy, what is happening with these people like this?
Because I am gathering more interests. I'm not just focusing on the books. I'm gathering more interests. And the quantity of things you need to know inaenda ikiongezeka. So I averaged hapo 18 out of 40. So it still wasn't bad. It's an upper average. It is not a lower average.
Yeah.
So, and that is where I stuck. I was, of course, individually good in subjects like, math. I was an
Sciences.
A student math, A student English, A student history. Things that are very key in what I do
Yes,
every
true,
single day.
true.
Then when I joined university, I first joined with a Bachelor of Arts
Yeah.
to do maths, business, and sociology. I switched it to a Bachelor of Education to do maths and business. Then I switched it again to theater arts and film when it
Okay.
was introduced in KU.
And so where is the interest of actuarial science and computer science coming in? Because
It's the math.
The maths.
It's the math.
Yeah,
Because I was
okay.
and still am good at math.
Okay.
So those are the ones that were saying, oh, you're very good at math. You can try actuarial science or
Yeah.
you can try computer science.
Okay.
And at the time, computer science ndio kila mtu alikuwa akifanya wakati huo. Good thing is, I'm glad sikuifanya because the number of things that have changed in the tech space.
Yeah.
Very many. Because I was always, and still am interested in tech.
Yeah.
That is where it started, much earlier. Watching two memories from my childhood. Japan video topics in KBC. If you're old enough, if you're an old millennial, you'll remember that.
Yeah.
And Hollywood highlights,
Yes.
cinema.
Yes.
That used to be on KBC as well. Najua sio tulikuwa tuna watch KBC peke yake.
Yeah.
Tulikuwa na privilege ya KTN na Nation kama watu wa Nairobi. So because those are the things I used to watch, I gathered interest in tech and I gathered interest in production of TV and movies. Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Sasa nimeanza kuona penye tech part inakuja. I was very keen on kusikia that smart kid in sciences because a lot that you do, a lot that you're seeing, ulikuwa na ka interest mahali na sciences. So I see where it comes from and the smartness. Anyway, so you go to KU. How is the experience for you in this university that is nurturing the entertainer in you?
Let me tell you, university is very important for everybody. Wacha nikwambie, hata kama huendi kusoma, hata kama hujaitwa university. Wacha nikwambie, hata kama hujaitwa university, find a way of going to a university just to see how people live life.
Oh, okay.
One of the best experiences my cousin, he's a bit older than me, ever gave me, and my best friend in high school at the time. We were waiting to do our KCSE.
Yes.
He was in JKUAT. Akatuita siku moja tuingie university. Tuone tu vile maisha university iko. My friend, I was motivated to want to go to university. Si ati kwa sababu ati ukitoka nje unakutana tu na wasichana. Sisemi ni hiyo.
Si unapewa hugs of your own.
Si ati ni venye unasalimiwa tu na mtu yoyote alafu unaweza smile akienda na hata feel vibaya. Si ati ni juu ulikuwa na an immense amount of freedom.
What motivated you?
That and more.
That and more. It's the hugs back and forth.
Let me tell you, I remember the experience of going to JKUAT just to see how my cousin lives in university.
Yeah.
I remember I vowed to myself, I must go to university and I must make sure it's a job admission.
Yeah.
And in serikali inalipia the bulk of the fees.
Yes.
Si ati mimi naenda parallel.
Yeah.
And it was so important because as well, I think that was my training ground for interaction with people. You get to deal with people from different walks of life. True. It's a hub, the whole country.
Yes.
You have everybody around. Basically in university, you're meeting Kenya.
Yes, and you don't choose who you're going to be with. It's everyone that comes to you. Yeah.
You get to see how people do their things, how people talk, how people reason.
Yeah.
And especially that reasoning is very important because when you see the variety of ways that people reason, it also helps you to self-check and analyze. Mimi nikifikiria nafikiriaga vizuri kweli ama nakwanga nimeachilia waya mahali.
Yes. Right, now you're out of campus. What do you do next?
Oof.
Or have we covered the campus
one? It is while in campus that I explored, now the things that I do every day.
Yes.
I got cast into a show. I got to be part of a show where I'm in the crew as well.
Yeah.
So it's just building blocks here and there. And then voila, I end up as a scriptwriter on Machachari. I end up directing there as well. I end up acting here. Yeah, while I was still in school. While still in school, we toured Europe for like 3 months
Now
to
I'm
perform
giving
in a
KU their
musical.
flowers. Niwapatie iko hapa.
I toured in a musical.
Yeah.
While in KU, the vice chancellor took myself and my then best friend and performing partner. It's called Mungala Movie. I think if he's still there, he's on K24 in the morning. We went to perform in the US for a KU event. Yani basically tulienda kwa US embassy kutupewa visa kwenda kuperform place moja na tukarudi. It was very interesting. That always, give my heart, give flowers to Professor Olive Mugenda for that opportunity. It was very interesting.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. The fact that she trusted us enough, she enjoyed our performance.
Yeah.
Like if by mistake Mugenda calls me, because sometimes, right now she's running the KU hospital.
Yeah.
If she calls me kibahati mbaya because she was looking for Martin wa finance, unajua kuna Martin wa finance wa hospitali.
Yeah.
Then she sometimes calls me kibahati mbaya. It is you Martin. She just laughs. Anasikia tu sauti yangu anacheka. It is anachekaga tu like no, hata tukikutana naye anione tu so she'll just
laugh.
Have a big smile and just laugh.
Yeah.
Because we were performing in KU as a part of Kenyatta University Traveling Theatre, we always lit up, graduation ceremonies, events, etc. with our performances, and they were always very good, and they enjoyed it. We enjoyed performing, and of course that built into who I am today as a performer.
And Martin, I feel like you're rushing us, so certain nataka moti on that, because let's start with what you're saying. You're performing books, the traveling theatre that you're in before, after high school.
Yeah.
We understand you're a second parent and a firstborn, but you seem like somebody. How do you get to all these opportunities? Like, tunakuelewa wewe ni mtu ambitious, lazima utegemee familia pale ninakuangalia, but you're performing here, then now you go to campus. It's just not a normal campus student. You're changing the game in the entire KU that you're going to West to perform for KU. I mean, this is a big deal. Hata kutupeleka haraka nataka kusikia your part.
I don't think it's one moment to make it big, because it's building on.
Yes.
So it might look very slow, but if you look at it from this point to that point, it'll look very big. But it's a very slow and gradual.
Yeah.
I was just performing, and I was just improving my skills and my confidence as a performer. It's honestly as simple as that.
You in high school, you're becoming chairman. How is it?
I mean, of course, you're performing. You're an actor, and of course, you improve your skills as an actor. When if you do it often, you understand what you need to do for specific performances and specific roles. You nashinda ka certificate hapa, best actor in district, kidogo best actor in provincials. Nini unaenda tu hivyo tu ukigrow pole pole. You end up being cast in set book plays. You go perform in high schools. You improve yourself as you're performing, because you're doing the same thing over and over again for like 2 to 3 months. You get to campus, you're still that actor. You join Kenyatta University Traveling Theatre. That is the one that gave us the greats of the ridiculous trio, Walter, Tony, and KJ. And, at some point, interacting with Kajairo and Churchill as well, and Mudomubagi.
Yeah.
You're in that space. You're like, no, I have to outdo myself. You keep doing it. You audition. They say you're welcome. You learn new things. They open doors for other opportunities. You get to perform in different ways, as opposed to just community theater where people are seated outside waiting for you to perform skits. Now you're standing in front of corporates who want you to entertain them with the subject matter. It's the opening of a library. You have the president who has come to open this big library, and you're supposed to perform content that is in relation to the opening of a library to a president. You take your brain into research mode, trying to figure out what kind of performances, what can we intertwine. We even performed for the then CDF, Chief of Defense Forces. I forget his name. And then, it was such an awesome performance. Yani, he laughed na sio mtu wa kucheka. Mpaka even his juniors were saying, huyu si mtu wa kucheka.
But amecheka
the fact that amecheka yake yoyote. And especially because relevance.
Yeah.
You'll not come and it's a ceremony about signing of an MOU between the Kenyan military and Kenyatta University. you're not going to come there and start talking about ugali and chapo.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
What's the relevance? What's the relevance?
Yeah.
You research who these people are, what this partnership is, where can there be conflict? How can you play around with that? There was a time there was a partnership between Kenyatta University and the Kenya Police. It was a very simple joke. KU had been known for going on strike a lot and causing chaos on Thika Road a lot, and police being sent a lot. So we just came, and the first joke was, welcome to this partnership between Kenyatta University and the Kenya Police. You might not be aware, but KU students and the police, we have partnered in very many other things. For some reason, I might not be saying it verbatim, but it floored every single person because they knew what we were saying without us exactly saying it. Now move on.
Move on.
And
just a joke.
Yeah, and that's where I learned also how to package myself as a performer, even in suggestive content, suggestive commentary, etc. You can say things without saying them, and nobody will come bash you and say, you said, but no, me, I did not say that. Me, I said this. The fact that you understood it differently means that you are also aware of something different. Exactly. Yeah. So that, of course, in turn, trains me to be able to stand in front of people, stand in front of corporates when I'm performing as an MC, because that's one of the other things I do as a performing artist. I can MC, various events. I prefer, of course, corporate events. I have performed in weddings, birthdays. You start with the small things. Ukienda tu kijimprove. If you can manage a crowd of children, you can MC for the president, because handling children is hard.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, So it's not one thing. So it's just small things. It's a journey that is just building. If you look at the curve, it's not even at this steep like this. It's just like this incline kadogo too, but because over time. Since 2004, right now we are in 2024. It's 20 years
of building. And we see the Marto, we see the glory. We don't even know the story. That is all
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I am learning a lot from you, so I'm making sure that I don't miss the chance to ask right now for me and my audience, because truly, I think for me as I'll even speak for Grace, what I see for the Marto is the glamour, the grace, the everything, like umefika. Hapa umefanya hii, you're doing so much. Unakumbuka nimeanza by kukwambia you do so much. What are you doing? Like, I don't know the story behind Daddy Marto becoming Daddy Marto. Apart from even your sister saying Daddy Marto, there's been a lot of work you put in for 20, actually, that's 2 decades plus that you've been working on Daddy Marto to be who he is. So maybe in this journey, I was really trying out to see where, most people say, I think the discovery moment was this point, or this was the person who put me in this specific point. But I'm learning from you that yours is actually a different journey.
Mine has been completely gradual. Mimi bado sijafika. I've not had anywhere on my curve where it's been I keep on saying I'm not yet a big deal. I still have my chance to be a big deal. Because you only have one chance to be the new kid on the block. I'm still not known Africa-wide. I'm still not known. I'm still able to walk in the streets of Nairobi.
Wow.
Bila kusumbuliwa na watu. Utakuwa tu ile hai na una mtu mmoja wawili. Ni aje Daddy Marto hivyo. Sijafika mahali nitakanyaga hivi. Streets Diamond akianguka Nairobi hivi. The streets shut down. So nasema sijafika hapo bado. So ninaenda tu pole pole one day.
But you know what I'm loving about it? Apart from the fact that it's gradual, it's so consistent, and then
that is important.
Is something, the heritage of it is it's not, me, I don't like, for me personally, I love those gradual growth in every aspect, not just in a celebrity status. Then you rise and then the fall will be the same. The trajectory may go to it's something that you can even pick, and something you can relate to even as young people, that you don't wake up and find yourself here. You've worked for it step by step.
It's very hard to tell Gen Zs that, but
anyway.
It's
very hard. It's very hard because in our time we want trajectory up high there. So that's something I'm loving. But is there a person who that stood out in your whole space of those 24 years that we're talking about, 20 years that we're saying? For this specific person, I think this is the specific person who helped me probably find out who I am more. Ama ali broaden this is me, Marto, I am working with this, but there's somebody holding my hand here who made sure that I am this person. Allow me to say you're a star. To me then, you're a star. Then to that point, who held your hand? Who can you remember that you can say, truly, truly, it was this moment that this person did this? For me, it still stand with your sister, younger sister. But now, this in the aspect of the creative industry, is there somebody you remember that you say, huyu ndo alifanya hata nifike kwa media space yenye niko hapa sahi?
Sadly,
no,
there is not one person that stands out. Because again, it's been very gradual. It's been, especially in this space, you have to prove yourself a lot before you even given your first opportunity. So if it would be anybody, you'd say, first of all, I'd like to thank me.
Thank me for every hard work.
But you see, there's always the first person who said yes to your first audition, who helped you get to the next stage. Then you met the next person who helped you get to the next stage. And then the next person, like there's nobody who's ever gone, wewe kuja hapa. So hii ndio barabara tunaenda. It's always been,
God has placed different people.
You just have different destiny holders in different areas with different magnitudes. Sometimes it's something as simple as, before we started the interview, there's the lady that we met who we had worked together somewhere else. And now conveniently they are here. If I was to do something with this space, she's a destiny holder already. If I end up doing something that is big and great here, she'll become part of the journey, you know. But it started by building that relationship. What I'd say is I have built a lot of relationships with a lot of people. And I try as much as possible not to burn bridges, so that whenever I go back, it's very easy to pick up and see, where are you in your life right now? Are you doing anything that we can be able to help each other with? Let's do that. So I don't have a defining moment. Because me nakwambia mi Grace, mi sijafika bado. Sijafika. Bado niko kwa safari.
Mimi najua utafika.
Imagine mi sitaki kufika. That's the thing. Sitaki kufika.
Wow, you don't want mahali ati.
Sitaki kufika.
Wow. That's
sitaki kufika. I always want there to be something I want to get to. Because mi nikifika inamaanisha nimedai. Sitaki kufika. Kwa hiyo sitaki kudai.
I now see your perspective. I now see your perspective. It's a very big sea. Hata see, it's endless. You just want to keep going. There is more to the world.
It's infinite.
Interesting.
Because even hata ukidrive usiku, taa ya gari inakuonyeshaga tu hapa. Unajua mahali unataka kuenda, unaona tu hapa mahali inakuonyesha. So endelea na hiyo safari. Endelea tu mpaka mahali utafika. Mpaka gari ishindwe kuendelea tena. That's an interesting one. I've learned a lot from your career life and how you've grown. Now I am interested to where you meet your wife, and I understand there's something you said, my first marriage, then the second one. If you want to expound more on that, able to relate happen. Now I'm fresh from campus, or at what point do I meet the person who I start my journey of life with? The first person I was with, I was still in campus, but because I had switched courses, when I was in third year, of course I was a bit older. Wengine wakiingia first year, mimi niko third year, but you know. So met my first partner in 2012, did the traditional wedding in 2013, separated in 2015.
You're still in school at this point?
No. I think I stopped going to class, I think 2013 or something like that. I stopped going for classes in 2013. So what you're saying is KU ilishia mahali? KU ilishia mahali. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Nilienda university. Ulienda university. Kuimaliza ndio ulisema simalize hata shule iendelee, wengine watasoma. Nikimaliza wengine watasomea wapi? Interesting. Wengine watasomea wapi? Yes. Wow. So of course there is a plan to do something somewhere, especially because we are the adults in the room, and we have to be in a position where we can be able to impact policy, etc. So your degree, we shall get it. We shall get it. But for now, wacha tulele watoto kidogo nimalizane na shule yao, then mimi nitaendea yangu. So 2015, things didn't work out. We separated. Then the next year, 2016, met my now wife. Got pregnant the same year. Child was born the next year. Did traditional wedding in 2018, and then second born 2021 during COVID baby, and then third born
Remember the
2023.
COVID baby. I
Yes.
remember that Kokula
Yeah,
right?
and then 2023 the third born. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
Wow. Tell us about how you meet your wife, your now wife. I know she wants to hear that. I also want to hear it.
I will say this,
Cool.
particularly that story.
Yeah.
I have told it very many times.
Mm-hmm.
So I will choose not to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
And tell people they can watch it in my YouTube channel.
Thank you. Well, tell us where to find that YouTube channel.
Yes, the YouTube channel is called Mana Patao. Mama na Papatao. Many people ask what that means. It's just that Mana Patao is Mama na Papatao. Firstborn is called Makastao.
Okay.
So it's Mama na Papatao.
Yeah,
we have told that story so many times. There are even many interviews about it. So we try and we've tried to reduce now the number of times we tell that story because there are things, over time there are things we forget. But that one is fresh because it was closer to when we met.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, watch it there. To take a link up at what to watch your story. I also want to go run there and watch the entire story. Hashtag Mana Patao.
Yes.
So I've seen it on all your posts. Now I understand what it means. Yes. Interesting. Yeah. So then tell us about your children. You said the first one is Makastao,
Franklin Ray, and Richard Koa.
Yes. Interesting. So all these watoto umesema nimesikia kuna 20 COVID baby ndo nakumbuka vizuri. Je, hiyo story tulikuwa tuna watch na tunasema yenyewe these are strong women. Unaelewa? So at that point there is these kids they have come now into your life at different years. When you first learned that I'm going to be a father now with Marcus, how was the feel for you? This is your first time to be a father. Able to talk to me about that moment?
So it's funny that this one I will give you. I would have said go back to the child, but this one I'll give you. I know I'm saying this one I'll give you.
Yes.
I keep on saying that, and people sometimes don't believe me. The first time she told me she was pregnant, I smiled.
Oh.
I smiled.
You are looking forward to this.
And it was funny because at the time we were she was going through a challenge where she had, we don't know if she still has, a condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects hormonal balance and fertility.
Yeah.
So at the time, sisi tulikuwa tunajibamba tukijua hata hakuna mimba itaingia, uko tu sawa. Kumbe laiti tungelijua. So when she said she was pregnant, first of all, I smiled because I was like, oh, so it was possible. Okay. Oh, all right. So I'm going to be a father. Okay. Oh, this is the person. I'm going to be a father to their child. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I smiled.
You're just smiling and these questions are just coming.
Hakuna kitu nilikuwa naogopa kama kupatia msichana ambaye sitaki mimba.
Oh. Did you hear that? Say it again for the people at the back.
Msichana ambaye sitaki kumpatia mimba.
So
when it was her, but no, ni wakati wa huo mwingine, because I was 30 years old by then.
Yeah.
So of course I have dated here and there, things have not worked.
Yeah. Now and you're like,
I was like, it is her, okay. It was possible, okay. I'm going to be a father, okay. I just smiled.
You just smiled.
I just had a warmth just flowing through me. I didn't panic, I didn't stress or anything. And then because I'm more results and solutions oriented, I just immediately started thinking, okay, how do I make sure I prepare for this child's birth? Where is it going to happen? How am I going to get money? Blah blah blah. Nikaanza tu your process. Hiyo tu kujipanga ya 3 months ahead.
Yeah.
By the time she was delivering, we already knew where she was going to deliver, how it was going to happen, what we needed to do, like hivyo. Because mimi ninafikiria tu huko mbele. And again, it came from that training of being a co-parent.
Yeah. How did it change you as a person? Like now, I have been Daddy Marto. Yes, I know I have been a second parent, but now this is my child.
This is my child. I think it's more of, it broadens. Now it brought in the thing I was telling you at the beginning, where you have your needs, you have your means, and you have your aspirations.
Yes.
So I've needed to always meet my needs.
Yes.
So my needs have increased. So I have to increase my capacity to cover my needs.
Okay.
But then at some point, my needs caught up with me. My needs caught up with me. My means were not able to meet my needs.
Yeah.
So I had to change tact and now aspire.
Aspire more.
So badala ya kutafuta, unajua wakati unajua rent yako ni 20k na expenses zako ni 30k kwa mwezi, utatafuta 50k na uko sawa. Si bora mimi niko na 50k, mimi niko sawa, I'll be fine. Then una realize if you change tact, uanze kusema you know what, wacha ninajua ni 50k but wacha nijiambie ni so. Wacha nijiambie ni so that nikitoka kila siku ninajua naenda kutafuta so. Nikipata 70 at least, sio so but at least sio 50 but nimepata 70. So that way sina pressure sana other than ile yenye nimejiwekea.
Yes.
Because if I focused on 50,
yes,
I might fall short and end up on 40.
Yeah, ama
na hapo sasa ni stress.
Yes.
Juu sasa hii ingine inahitajika na hauna. But if I think of 100 and fall short and land on 70, at least ninajua nimejisaidia for the next month. Ambayo bado nitatafuta tena so ingine. Exactly. So that's the analogy of aspiration, needs and means. So it's being a father at that point, that is what it taught me. We went through a period where, especially after tulienda kulipa mahari, things, you know, something happened where the job that I was going to do immediately after nimeenda kuchop money in Uganda, the job did not materialize. So we went into a very deep pit of debt. Other lessons were just learned through that. You know, mbona unapangia pesa haukuwa nayo, ati unaanza kuspend na hata haijafika bado. You know, of course I had to increase my capacity even more. I got myself like 3 or 4 jobs at once. You just panga them. You know, this you do this day and this day, this you do this day. Then I realized, okay, there's an opportunity here to create content for social media. I have the skills, I have the means, I have studied theater and film. Why am I not doing it? Mi si mtu ninapenda kukalia mikono. So you start where you are, do what you can with what you have. Started creating content on social media, through it there. Kumbe ka brand kameanza kushika. Partners started coming in, create content for us on social media. Kumbe brand inaendelea kugrow. Hapa ndipo tunaweza fika. Kidogo kidogo now nimefika mahali I can't handle all this work by myself. I need to bring in now employees to help me. Yo, those are overheads. Where ulikuwa unaanzia kwa I just need 100, now imeongezeka na you need 200. Then imeongezeka you need 300. And because you also want to not live the same way you lived. Yes. Because why am I working all this just to do the same thing over and over again? As in, it might sound mundane, but mimi sitaki nikiwa choo ninabishiwa nitoke ndio mtu mwingine aingie kwa choo. It is very frustrating. It is very frustrating where you just want to sit on your phone and enjoy your
just
time.
Just even if it's an hour.
Lakini uko toka nahitaji kuingia like you know what? We need to get a house that has more than one bathroom. It might be a simple and mundane motivator, but it is what I want. And for as long as I can find the means to pay for it, I will go for it.
You will go for it.
Yes.
All right. Now that's the first time you're with Marcus now. You've it has changed you in a way, and you've explained how. And the first feeling is just a smile and a warmth flowing. But you see, every child is different, and every time it's not like the first time, right? Now we're having a second born. How many years after?
4 years.
4 years after. 4 years after. How is that experience when now your wife says we are pregnant again, second one? How do you feel?
Thing about all my 3 children is they've been oops babies. First born, oops, oh, you're pregnant. Okay, sawa.
Okay.
Second born, we had just gone through a period where she removed her coil because it was causing issues. So aliambiwa take a break before we reinsert it. Hey.
The break.
Oh. Daddy Marto
is working too hard.
Pap,
within the
second
break.
born. You're pregnant. Okay, sawa. Tutalea. Ni wetu. Tuende kazi. Imagine me, very few things make me panic. Because, again, I'm more results oriented and solutions oriented, and I just accept how things come instead of fighting them, because it's easier to go with the flow than against the flow, unless you need to go against the current, and that is what will help you. But mimi juu mimi ninataka kujisaidia, I will go with the flow. Hivi ndivyo maisha imeamua kunirusha. Tuone mali nanipeleka. And that is why it's easier to have better transitions along the way. I can't exactly say I have stepped out of what I have been doing. I have, because of these skills, of course, I have hosted on radio. I have a radio show. I have, I've done TV shows as well. In terms of my work, it's easier. In terms of home, it's, you can't force things to happen the way you want them to happen. Just see how they're happening and see how you can be part of them happening without it affecting you negatively.
So you said all of them were so this is the second one and you're still feeling warmth. It's okay, let's go again with the flow.
Watatu lakini sasa.
Kweli.
Hapo ndio nilikuwa yo. Okay.
This was a different feeling now.
Okay. Aya. Okay. That was a sigh.
It
was okay. It wasn't a no, but it was a okay. Inamaanisha nahitaji kwenda kuchukua jembe ingine sasa. That sort of thing. And especially because we had just come from a very tough period with our second born after he was born. His health, wife's, emotional state postpartum. We had just finished 1 year. He had just turned 1 in August. In September, we find out we were pregnant with the second born.
What?
So it's like, okay. So emotionally as well, it was very heavy for my, for my wife. But
so ni 4 years, gap ya kwanza ni 4 years, then ingine ni 1.
Well, it's 2 years.
2 years.
But 2 under 2 because you have to increase the age, the pregnancy.
The pregnancy. So 4 years and 2 years difference.
Yes.
And there is the second born is the COVID baby.
Yes.
And then there's this other one who was born now 2 years after. And you're saying this one now was different fatherhood feelings. Now you're like, again, we have another baby. It's we love our kids are very wanted here. But you also now like, hey, sasa nitafute kazi ingine. So it changed you also in a different perspective than the first one.
Because you see, that's the good thing about when things are gradual. You don't have to jump too high. You just una accelerate tu kidogo. So una accelerate tu kidogo ile from mali huko. Kama ungekuwa 0 and then umeamka you have triplets. Hiyo ndio ngumu. But kama kuna mwingine mmoja unaongeza tu.
So what has been the most rewarding aspect of fatherhood for you, Daddy Marto? Not for your friends, not for your wife, not for everybody else. Wewe kama sasa vile umelive being a father of 3 sons. What is the most rewarding part? Unaweza kumbuka maybe.
Just being part of shaping, amazing humans, because I see that in them every single day. They are warm, they're kind-hearted, even when they are throwing their tantrums. Like even the second born, when you see him with the firstborn, he is a child. When you see him with the lastborn, he's the big brother. You're like, how is that even possible? Like you're 3 years old. How do you know? Pass, Frankie. Pass back. Go to daddy. Go to daddy. We're doing well. We're doing well as parents. That sort of thing. So it's just being part of that journey. It's more of also being a witness to the people that they will eventually grow up to be. I draw a lot of joy from that. That's very interesting that you have beautiful wovens that you look at and you're like, I'm doing well as a parent, because as parents we say there is no manual for parenting. We're all learning and it's different. None. And our children are different from each other. You parent them differently. Actually, they teach you how you need to parent them because of how they react to you. because there are things that I did with Marcus that I'm not doing with Frankie.
Yeah.
There are things that I will do with Frankie that I will not do with Richard. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, fatherhood comes with challenges. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, and how did you overcome them?
Of course, as a father, top of the list is provision.
Okay.
Sometimes vitu za ukwama.
Yes.
And hapo solution ni either kazi ama marafiki. You know, it's either kazi ama marafiki. I am glad sijafika mahali kazi imekwama. So we are okay there.
Yeah.
And of course, there is when your kids get hurt. Of course, it hurts you as well.
Yes.
Whether they get hurt physically or emotionally. Like when Richard was at 6 weeks admitted for like a whole 2 weeks. Marcus ni gangster, bado jailala hosi. You know, Richard, the last born, has also been admitted as well for another whole week. It's a very scary moment, especially because there is nothing you can say to your partner at that time that will make them feel better, because it's beyond your words now.
You're now in the same boat as well.
Now me, I want to see the results. Is my baby okay?
And it's also hard for you because you're a parent to this child as well. You're in the same boat. You want to comfort your wife, but also there's something going on with you.
Yeah.
So that's the provision is top of the challenges, and the way you overcome it is through friends and work. But you've not gotten to where work has, stalled.
Yes.
Is there any other challenge apart from provision? And now what you've talked about, your child hurting also hurts you. So have you experienced anything else that would say it was a challenge to you?
So far, no.
Hey, you're blessed, most favored child of
I keep
God.
on saying I am blessed, and then as well mu accept vitu aki. Let's work with things as they come. Let's work with things as they come. Yeah.
That's a very positive.
Because if you want to force things to happen your way at your time, you'll be frustrated and disappointed.
Very, very positive way. All right. How has being a father influenced your choices, especially career-wise? Now that you've talked about, I had to pick another jembe here. Sometimes I had to change or wear more hats or do something more.
Yeah.
How has it now, in a deeper level, you can tell us how it has affected your decisions and priorities career-wise?
Being a father made me solidify what I do into a business. Being a father made me bring in more people so that I can streamline what I do and how I do it, so that I can also try and get more time for them.
Okay.
Because if I keep on working every day to provide for them and I'm not even there to provide myself to them, they will not have a father. They'll have a bank. I don't want to give them just a bank. Because now, if that is the only thing I will become, I'll start hating them later if that is the only thing they expect from me. Yet I'm the one who trained them to expect that from me. Yeah.
All right. So what are some of the traditions and values? Maybe you took them from your upbringing that you want to share and instill in your children. Maybe there's some things that maybe we look at and you're like, those are old schools. Maybe some of us will look at them as old schools, but for you, it's a tradition or a value that you'd want to carry forward to your generations through your children. Is there any value maybe from your parents?
Well, most of them, of course, come in through religion. Christianity, of course, we go to church every Sunday. Let them learn, how to be with other people, instill kindness and good-heartedness in them. And then... what else? I think it's just mainly that. Just have them become good people, because, hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal others.
Heal others.
Yeah.
True.
So I just try not to wound them in any way.
Okay.
But I also teach them the importance of work. I show them the importance of work. And I teach them the importance of being kind and good to other people. Yeah.
And I heard you say in the beginning of this that you're also going to do what your dad did for you. For him was unknowingly, but also for you is to open for your children, like the space. Take it all.
Marcus says he wants to do coding. If there's money, do coding. Do coding, bro. You want to go for a school trip? Inaendwa wapi? Ni 100,000. Okay, sina hiyo 100,000, but the next one ya 20,000 ikikuja, you will go. Because I need you to understand as well that money does not grow on trees.
Yes, it doesn't grow on trees. Wow, interesting. So I think that's a tradition to carry on with them. Now, how do you balance your professional life I know umesema hujafika and we agree with that, na tumelearn something. Hakuna time ya kufika. Hata mi leo from Grace hakuna mahali nafika, ni kusonga na kusonga na kusonga. But how do you balance your professional life, being a celebrity status, and now I have a personal life with my children, with my wife? How do you balance that, and how do you advise others who are coming to the same space, being on the limelight now? You have responsibilities as a father and celebrity status. Hapa zina balance aje?
I think how I've been able to survive is that I have not separated the two, because I am just myself. It becomes very hard for people when they have to switch from who they are to who they show up as. So I always show up as myself. I show up as myself when I am at work. I show up as myself when I'm with my kids, when I'm with my family. It's very hard to see a difference with those two. Even when we create our content sometimes, when we're posting content about our family, it's always raw and as uncurated as it is. The curated ones where we are performing, we make it very clear. This is a performance because I'm in TV, I'm in showbiz. So this is a performance. But hii ambayo ni sisi tu. So I keep on trying to answer that question whenever it's asked. When is celeb, who manage aje? Again, I say, mimi bado si celeb. When people approach me as a celebrity, hi, nice to meet you. Let's take a photo. Yeah, sure, let's take a photo. My family loves you. Do you mind saying hi? Yeah, sure, no problem. Thank you. You're the people who keep me relevant. You know, when you enjoy watching me and my family. Tuendelee, yes. I of course, don't cross the line. The same thing you wouldn't do with a normal person. You have no right to do with me. You have no rights over my life. You know, you have no rights over me. Don't insist on things that do not make sense. If somebody asks them of you as well, you would not offer. As simple as that. So I just try and show up as myself everywhere.
Okay. Very interesting. I think that's a very interesting to say. There's limits to also being, you know, as celebrities, sometimes to feeling tunawajua sana, mimi nakujua matuna, as in for real, you've not met Grace before, but Grace for some reason feels entitled like nakujua because I've interacted with your content.
It's the same way. Even your neighbors, you might live with them in the same neighborhood, you know them every single day,
but you really don't know
them.
You
really do not know them. So me, I just have neighbors on social media. Me just have neighbors on TV. Me just have neighbors in Kenya. We just live in the same country, and you see me every day. I just don't see you, but you see me.
Exactly.
It's the same way you know your neighbor and you know the things that they do. But wakati utaingia kwa nyumba yake, ndio utajua anakuaga ana breed cockroaches mahali. Only then will you know that. Otherwise, you can't force yourself ati unajua huyu mtu kabisa.
And imagine in their defense, in our defense, ni vile sasa mimi maybe nimekuacha, si unajua nini naangalia content yako kila siku. So for some reason I'm thinking, this is my brother, what are you telling me? In my sense, nikikumit hata nasahau kujiintroduce, juu na feel kama tunajuana, kuna bond umecreate na audience.
Kuna neighbor umemwonaga kila siku mkitoka kwa nyumba, mnasalimianaga, lakini ukaulizwa anaitwa nani?
Hata hajui.
Sasa zingine haujui.
Exactly. So hata wao hawanobani ile tu wana feel nakujua bromona, lakini sasa now getting your perspective also of I'm a human being, respected is a place, I like commodity of course, and I understand that you feel like you know me but you don't. So there's levels to that. All right, what advice would you give to fathers, new fathers who are about to embark the journey? You're a father with 3 boys, especially to when you're mnaanza journey. Na ulisema boys are not a joke. Kwanza kulea is not 3 is not a joke. So what is the advice you're giving to the new fathers, for those who are about to embark the journey?
Take it easy. Only do what you can. Set your own goals and achieve them gradually. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't give out, expectations to others that you very well know that you can't meet. Be 199% honest with yourself first.
Okay.
Kama unajua hauwezi peleka mtoto kuzaliwa Aga Khan, unaweza mpeleka Kenyatta. Wacha kupromise Aga Khan, wacha kuonyesha ni kama utapeleka Aga Khan. Kama utaki watoto waende out Westgate, unataka waende kwa kale ka hoteli kako hapo kando, wacha kuonyeshana ni kama unataka kuonipeleka Westgate. Live your life very simply.
Take it easy.
Do what you can manage.
Yeah.
Aspire, but be realistic with yourself. Yes.
Interesting. That's a very good and honest remarks to the upcoming father. Something to learn, to be very true. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to digest that. Anyway, now, Daddy Marto, you've been a dad now. You have experienced fatherhood. At some point, you are a son, but now you're a father. You've experienced both sides of the coin. How would you describe in your own terms a father?
A father is a protector. A father is a provider. A father is a guide. A father is a leader. A father is a bridge. A father is an accelerator.
Okay.
Those are the things that we are mainly responsible for to our children, especially. Yeah. You need to protect them, provide them, guide them, accelerate their curiosity, their growth, their journey, give them access to as many things as possible, lead them and show them what is meant to be and what is not meant to be.
Yeah.
Based on how you have been socialize them as well. And as well, don't hover too much. Allow them to make their mistakes, because as a teacher, that's the best way they can learn. Allow them to feel the pain of failure as well.
Yeah.
Allow them to feel it. That is the best way they can learn. Like I remember the day I took off the training wheels of my son's bike. He was so scared. He was so, I even have that video on my social media page. He was so scared that I was taking the training wheels off. He could not believe it. Ambia Marcus, you know how to ride a bike. You have had these training wheels for over a year. You are over relying on them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off the training wheels so that you can stop relying on them. He was surprised that he was able to ride the bike without the training wheels.
The training wheels, yeah.
See, I told you, you knew how to ride a bike.
You knew how to do it.
Angeenda aanguke aumie, like umesikia uchungu.
Yeah.
Get up now, try again until you're able to do it.
Okay. Do you think there's a difference between a father and a dad?
Other than semantics, dads and fathers,
The same thing.
words, semantics. People try and use one for the other. So is a dad deeper than a father? I don't know, because here we are heading towards Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
But then others say you're more than just a father, you're a dad.
A dad is active, a dad is present. They say, and they also say that dads have, more friendship than the stern part of it. The father is strict stern and, hey, I'm your father. The dad is also friendly a little bit.
It depends, because there are stages in your life where you need to be specific things to your children.
Yes.
Don't try to be a friend when you're supposed to be a coach.
Yes.
Don't try to be a coach when you're supposed to be, I can't remember that quote, but there are levels to it. And I know the stage that I am at right now in my firstborn's life is his coach.
Yeah.
There are things he needs to learn in specific ways that he needs to implement, and he needs to feel the consequence of not doing them in that way. Later on in life, I can be his friend because I'm like, you formed into the person who you are. There are things I can't change about you. Now, tuongee sasa kama marafiki. Yeah.
What is the most important quality you think a father should have, and that maybe you have yourself?
Compassion.
Compassion. Why compassion?
Because not a lot of dads can, and it is very important, not a lot of fathers can handle emotions.
Yeah.
Either coming from their sons or their daughters. And it is very important to be able to handle emotions. which is one thing I am learning in handling my son's emotions as well. Because at times, wife can be overly emotional, ashindwe kuimanage.
Yeah.
I want my son to be able to know that he can talk to me, because it is in realizing that I can handle his emotions as well that he'll be able to reveal everything to me, even the deepest, darkest, where akigonga mtu kwa barabara, wacha aniambie, tujue venye tutaihandle, kuliko ajaribu kuificha, then tunaenda kutoa mtu kwa jela yet, things like that. It's very important to have that compassion as well, because it allows you to have better understanding of who the person is as themselves, not as you want to understand them.
How do you handle discipline with your boys?
Mshipi inakuliwa.
Una set boundaries
wakati wa mshipi ni wakati wa mshipi. And then I only punish I don't punish mistakes. I punish kichwa ngumu. So umeangusha glass, punish, it's an accident. Umewacha kitabu shule ya homework. Utaiwacha siku ya kwanza, makosa imefanyika. Uache siku ya pili,
kosa ni kurudia kosa,
utakula mshipi.
Alright.
Ndio kila wakati ukienda kutoka, ukumbuke nisipoenda na kitabu nitakula mshipi.
Okay.
I punish kichwa ngumu. Kisukuma brother yako, why would you do that?
Yes, you punish that.
I will punish that.
Okay.
Ukipita uanguke, umsukume kidogo, aumie, hata kama muumia vibaya na amebleed, no problem. But ile kidogo tu ile wachana na toe yangu, umgonge. Kwa nini unafanya hivyo? I will punish that.
All right.
Yes.
And in your busy schedule, how do you stay connected and involved with your kids' life? Because I know you're very busy. How do you set time apart, or how do you go about it?
When I'm home, they know I'm home.
Yeah.
It's quality over quantity.
Okay.
When I'm with them, they know I'm with them. We will go out, we will do things. I will try to even see off Marcus just before he goes to school early in the morning. If I know I'm not going. Like right now, as it is right now, we've been away from home for 10 days now. We managed to go home only twice, both me and my wife, only twice. And it was more to see them.
Okay.
And when we saw them, they were getting sick, tonsils, homa. When they saw us, they just livened up, so it's important. Yeah, it's very important.
All right.
Yes.
Now talking about your partner, how do you think fathers or husbands should be more supportive to their partners in their parenting journey? How do you maintain that and ensuring that I'm being supportive to my partner in this parenting journey? Do you have any strategies or how you go about it? In your own opinion, though. Daddy Marto, you're of course supportive to your wife. Technically, from what we see, what are the strategies? Ama, do you have?
Listen, that's the thing. You're asking me for a strategy. Me hapo.
In your opinion, basi.
Ata wacha nikwambie. Me, I show up. I show out.
You show out. Okay.
I am just there. If you need me, I am there.
You're always going to be. That's a strategy by its own. I'm going to be
it's there. It's not a strategy because it's. I don't know. I keep on saying there's some things that I owned as requirements for the office that I hold. So I'm holding the office of father right now.
Okay.
There are expectations of this office. So it's not going over and about. It is not having a special superpower when you're doing things that you're expected to do. Understandably and admittedly, a lot of people have failed in doing what they're expected to do. That the ones who are actually doing what they're expected to do, they are glamorized. They're like, oh my gosh,
we do that a lot. We do that a lot as a society.
Yeah.
All right. And allow me to ask this then. Looking back, is there something you do differently as a father for your kids? Maybe in a circumstance unakumbuka and you're like, I would have done differently, or now that I know better, I would have parented differently at this stage. Anything?
So far, none.
None. Amazing.
I am just going with the flow. Again, I wait for my children to teach me how they need to be, to be parented. Because the way I handled Marcus when he was younger, the way I'm handling Frankie when he's now at that age, right now he's moving out of the terrible twos. Handling Marcus's tantrums were bad. Frankie's tantrums are bad, but Marcus's were worse.
Okay.
But I think probably Marcus's felt worse because it was the first time, and due to mezoea sasa tunaona ya Frankie.
Yes.
But Frankie is totally different. Frankie, Marcus hiyo time ungemwambia kula ama nilete mshipi, ataanza kukula. Frankie utamwambia kula ama nilete mshipi, atakwambia no mshipi.
No mshipi, I'm not doing this.
No mshipi.
Yeah.
Bado hataki kukula. So you need to find another way. You excite him into eating, then he will eat. But if you tell him kula ama mshipi, hata kula atakwambia no mshipi. Now, so you see, that child is teaching me
how to parent
him.
Yes.
Unajua strategy. Yeah. Because if you fight trying to parent him the same way you know how to, again, it comes with the going with the flow. If you want to force things to go the way you know how they should go, they will never work. And you'll end up wounding and traumatizing the child. Yeah. But if you know how to ease them into trying now to kule chakula, good boy, kule ingine, good boy. Bas, kuna mwingine itawaka shino, hizi ma good boy ni nini? Unanisimamia sitaki kukula, hebu to move on. Labda nahitaji kukaa njaa kaa 3 hours ndio realize hey, I need to eat. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now do you believe in gentle parenting, now having parented Frankie and your last born now? Do you believe in gentle parenting? Ama we are still not yet there?
Every child again requires their way of parenting.
Yes.
You start with gentle. Always start with gentle. Okay. Before you have to try any other means. Okay. Yes.
And how has your perspective on fatherhood changed from when you became a dad to now? Now that you have a dad, from the first time you were a dad now to now, how has the perspective changed?
Because I am not yet past preteens with my kids. I'm not yet past teenage. I don't have any conclusions yet because I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the curve. Yes. So hata wakati nilita interview ya kuwa dad, but bado sijamaliza hii safari. Naweza sema kitu sahihi alafu hai-apply 10 years from now. But anyway, wacha tuendelee. I'm still learning. I'm not yet there actually. Mimi sijafika.
Sawa. Haina shida. Tutalearn, but perspective najua imechange. Mimi ninaweza already tell when imechange from how you're saying. Hata vile unaona life na vile unafanya vitu ni different, so kuna kitu imechange. So the wise have learned and have had by action tena. So if you could change one thing about fatherhood in how it's perceived or represented in media, what would it be? Already ni kama nasikia niko nimelanji hiyo jibu, but acha nisikie kama ni what I'm thinking. What has it changed now in the media space? Kuna vile society imetusell, this is how fatherhood is. If you had the chance to change only one thing of how we perceive it, what would it be?
It's fatherhood is very, very, very important.
We don't get the importance as much as we should be.
No.
Yeah.
Being fathered is very important, especially now. You're dealing with somebody who was fathered to a point.
Yes.
Who's raising children with somebody who was not fathered as well. And you can tell the little child in her who weeps for their father each and every time. Yeah. Sometimes I transition
to the father,
to being a father.
Yeah.
Same way I find myself transitioning as well on my mom's side.
To be the husband.
To be the husband, you know.
Wow.
Like when you hear your mom said, "You're the husband I wish I had, but can never have." Yeah. You have your wife saying, "You're the father I wish I had, but did not have."
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
It's inakuwa ngumu. But I am glad I don't know whether I self-emancipated at some point. I was able to, I think probably it's, when the blessing was called, it just came with everything that comes with it as far as being a father is called. It is hard, but I don't know if it will make sense. It is hard, but I don't find it hard. Like, I still do it every single day. Okay. It is very hard, but I will still do it every single day because it is not hard. Like, there is how I have chosen to do it that works for me.
Yes.
So it makes it not hard. But do I get tired? Yes. Do I get exhausted? Yes. So it means it is still hard in itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming almost to the end. Allow me to ask this. We're in the digital era, and you're also a tech influencer and a person who consumes a lot of technology. Leads us to take a lot of that technology. You tell us what is the newest thing, newest phone, what have you. Have you been able to incorporate technology in your parenting and social media, specifically now that you're in that space as well? And do you have any tips for screen time, maybe for your kids? Are you able to incorporate that, and how is it going?
So right now in my house, TV is off. The last 2 weeks we've been away, TV is off. Wow. Kids only watch TV when I am there with them over the weekend. They will watch during the holidays. He will not watch
now
when
why
he's
they're
in school.
Getting tonsils.
He's in school.
They want you home to watch things. Yeah.
We suffered delayed speech with Marcus because it was the first time we're like, oh my gosh, he's 2 years old and he knows the alphabet from A to Z and even from Z to A kutoka nyuma. Oh my gosh, our child. But he was just repeating sounds he had. He wasn't learning. He didn't know what he was hearing. He didn't know what they were. He can't apply them anywhere. He just knows the alphabet. Mbele hadi nyuma, nyuma hadi mbele. But then he cannot communicate. He started talking after he was 4. And
4?
Yes, like ile properly talking, constructing sentences.
Yeah. But I've seen that condition somewhere.
What we came to realize again, it was delayed speech because anamka asubuhi, TV on, overstimulation, attention span yake is very little. Cocomelon, Dave and Eva, hiyo ndio raise Marcus, unfortunately we say. Then when we cut out screen time when he had turned 4, after we realized it, and then started now taking him to baby daycare so he can interact with people, it started to help. So right now for our 3-year-old and 1-year-old, our screen time is
none.
Oh,
okay.
Actually, it's not like we can give them screen time, like very, very short bursts of screen time. It can be once 3 hours, once in a month. Oneni, umefurahi, bas, ni hivyo. The only other time I give them screen time is tukiwa kinyozi. Bas. Ndio atulie tu.
Afanyiwe
ananyolewa yeye enjoy that Marcus is gaming, he's so much into gaming. And then Frankie, I watch Cocomelon yake, get a haircut, we go home. That's it.
All right, nice. Now I have another question, and I know you said you're not a celebrity, but you have an audience that of course has their own, as we said, more rights. They want to comment about your life, and probably they have commented about your parenting style or what you've done with these, or why are you doing this. Have you gotten any sort of pressure about, having to do something because I am celebrity status, or I have an audience that looks up to me and following me, and they want to comment about my life, they're learning from me? And also, do kids know that you're a celebrity? Okay.
So Marcus, every time when people know me, he asks, how do these people know you? Like every time we go somewhere, like, then he hears people calling me. He hasn't yet grasped the concept of. So he doesn't understand how these people know me. Even him, sometimes like they'll say hi to me and then they'll say hi to him. Like, how do these people know me? Exactly. I've forgotten the question.
The question was, before we get to whether the kids know you are a celebrity, but you have an audience that also feels the right to comment on your parenting style.
So the only pressure that I have, the pressure I have is not from my audience. It is this has become my bread and butter. How I carry myself contributes to the kind of engagements that I will land. And some of them have very strict policies on how they want their brand represented, and the people who represent their brand, how they want or expect them to behave and such like things. So the pressure that I have is on that, not from my audience. Iyo sijalangi.
Wewe hutaki.
Sijalangi. Iyo sijalangi.
Interesting.
Iyo sijalangi. Iyo, especially because 1 hours only wanaweza switch any day, anytime. And it is opinion based completely. Wacha huyu mwenye ana put their money where their mouth is.
Yes.
Anasema, just avoid controversy.
Yeah.
Run a clean brand.
Yeah.
Here is the check. It's not been hard for me to run a clean brand. It's not been hard. So tunaendelea. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, nice. Give us any fatherhood hacks zenye umechukua, shortcuts zenye unaweza sema in parenting imekuwa a bit easier for me, especially for the fathers. Wape hacks kidogo ama shortcuts moja mbili. I mean, you've done this 3 times now.
I'm still on the journey, but I know one of the things is quality time. Spend as much quality time as possible with them, as opposed to sitting there and being on phone when they are there.
Yes.
Just engage with them as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
Yes, you know you want to have your downtime. You just want to scroll mindlessly.
Yes.
But when they are there with you, be with them. Let them know that you're listening to them. Let them understand that you're there as their father.
Okay. Now, fatherhood is, I mean, Father's Day is coming. It's actually our final episode for those that we get Father's Day in a few days. First of all, Marto, unajua Father's Day needed what?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Okay, hands off. So, wengine wajui. Nimekuuliza wajui watu hapa na ajui date gani. Anyway, any special traditions you have in your family or something you've been doing for Father's Day since now you've been a father for quite some years now? Do you have any traditions that you do in your family for Father's Day specifically?
No.
Now you need to start one. One will be always at Parents Africa will celebrate you. Every time Father's Day tutakuwa kutafuta tunakuuliza journey inaendelea aje, tuna learn kidogo. But if you have any traditions that you can start, celebrate yourself. You're doing well as a father. So it's your wife and your kids and tell them a tradition tutakaeka hapo, tutawa support.
So funny thing is, as opposed to waiting to send flowers on Valentine's, say Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day, we just randomly find days when we are okay. Like, by the way, we've had a good year. Wacha tujitreat leo. Hii ndio happy birthday, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day, zote.
Yeah.
Because we acknowledge it. We can't just wait for those days.
Specific days
so as
to
say
celebrate.
you're a good father, to say you're a good mother.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. But happy Father's Day to you before it comes. We'll celebrate you now and then and forever. What's the best advice you've received about parenting and who gave it to you? That's actually my last question.
Best advice about parenting?
And who gave it to you?
Best advice about parenting. I think it was just a social media clip, like I said. The kind of person you need to be to your child at a specific stage. Huku mwanzo wakati ni kunyonya na kuchange diaper tu ndio concern yake. Pakatikati now when they are now coming into themselves, they're beginning to gather memories, etc. The kind of person you need to be there. Uko kwingine just before preteens, and then in teenagehood, and then after that. Just don't be a friend when you need to be a coach. I think I'll find that clip and then I'll share it with you so that it can be very clear. Because I forget what I need to be, uko mbele, but I know the stage where I am at right now is I'm a coach to my child.
You're a coach to your child.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, please do us a favor. Looking at this camera, give a word to the woman who made you a father, your wife. Say something to her on this Father's Day, and maybe even later in future she'll look at it and you have something to tell her. I'm sure of that. Please, looking at this camera.
Okay. All right. Mama Marcus, Mama Richard, Mama Frankie, thank you very much for gifting me access to your womb, for nurturing who we are, who we were destined to receive and deliver to the world. We've done well so far. We've done well so far, and I can only hope and pray that we continue on this journey well enough till we see them fly away and be the independent people that we have also become. So thank you very much.
Right, amazing. Looking at the same camera, give a word to Marcus, to Frankie, and to Richard. So in that order, if you want to tell them individually, ama wote pamoja ukiweka, it's okay.
Marcus, to Richard, to Frankie, with them boys. With them boys. They know that one.
With them boys.
With them boys.
Yes.
That one they will know.
They will know.
Yes.
But what about in the future? What do you want them to look at this video and know?
We them boys.
Oh, okay. They know the
Yes.
meaning of that. They're curious
Because
now.
with them boys, there are things that we are building together
Yes.
that with them boys will always trigger
Okay.
for them.
Okay.
Always trigger who we are as boys, who we need to be to the people around us,
Yeah.
how we need to lead
Yeah.
the people around us, how we need to offer ourselves to the people around us, how we need to offer ourselves to each other with them boys.
Wow, interesting with them boys. Okay, fine.
It's a message for them.
Yes, it's
so
for them.
They need to understand it.
And they
Yes.
understand. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, I know in all of our episodes, we've asked our fathers to tell a message to their wife and their kids. But this special final episode that I've had so much fun, so much learning with Daddy Marto. I never thought I would learn that much, but I have, guys. So I want to request you, Martin Githinji, give yourself a message. Hata sitaki future, yourself now as a father. Say something to yourself. Yes, as Martin Githinji. You've learned a lot. Give yourself some flowers or whatever it is that you feel like telling Martin Githinji. Congratulations from Grace. But what does Martin want to tell Marto? Say a message to yourself.
Message to myself.
Yes. You're doing so much.
Always remember, in as much as hautawaifika, don't forget to, as you always do, celebrate the moments of triumph. So keep that. Keep celebrating them. Jirudishie mwili shukurani. Once in a while. Just as you do, continue.
We've learned a lot, and that's one of the things that we want to carry from the remarkable Daddy Marto, because he started this episode, as I said, amazing person that I'm meeting today, amazing guest. But at the end of this, I'll tell you something. I've learned so much, and I know that you've also learned so much from Daddy Marto. He's a remarkable performing artist, and so much more from being a father to who he is. And you're doing a great job. For me, I'll say, I don't think that congratulations is an understatement. Honestly, I'm so proud to have met you today, to have this conversation with you, and to learn from you. And we appreciate and we hope to have more of this. Please, if you haven't checked his issue of Parents Magazine, please check it out at epaper.parentsafrica.com. We're gonna have a link down below so that you read the amazing story from Daddy Marto and his wife and the entire beautiful family that you will see from that perspective. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Keep going. There is no stopping. Something I've learned from you today, and I know I'll look at this video 20 years later and say I took that from you. There's no settling. There's no kufika. There's nothing like we got to a certain point. And that's so amazing. And keep going, keep going. We're so proud of you. Kutoka kukona Swenzoni and what you built as a brand yourself. I am in the tech space as well. That's my background. And so when I see you review some products, the way you do it is so magical. And you make me buy some things I don't buy. So thank you so much for the great job you're doing. You're inspiring so many more graces out there to look up to you. And I love the fact that wewe sio celebrity, as you say, na hujafika. Hakuna kufika, hakuna kuwa celeb. Tuta continue moving and moving. I've had so much fun. I've had so much amazing times with all the fathers that we've covered in this series. I want to give a special thanks to Parents Africa Integrated Media, my team, for making this happen. Thank you so much for all of the dedication you put in. And as we celebrate fathers, I want to request Daddy Marto to wish you Happy Father's Day as we wind up the show. Daddy Marto, angalia hapo waambie watu wenzako Happy Father's Day, your fellow fathers.
To all the fathers out there, this is for the fathers, male parents. Not the ones that people say, and the mothers who have had to take the roles of fathers. No. I am totally 110% against that. Coming from somebody who has been raised by a mother, as both mother and father sometimes, it is not the same. Let us give flowers to the fathers and the father figures, the male father figures, because this is theirs. Happy Father's Day to you. Mothers, mulipata yenu Mother's Day.
Now, apologetic.
I'm not apologetic about it.
Okay. Ambia baba yako something pia juu nimemwacha na he's a father and you said, manze, you love what he did. Thank you for him to apologizing and everything, but please wish him a Happy Father's Day now that he's here with us.
And to you too, Dad. Enjoy yourself, your favorite drink.
On me?
On me, if it will be possible. And Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you. We wish you, all of you, beautiful, amazing gentlemen out there. Happy Father's Day from Parents Africa as well. We love you so much. Keep it here at Parents, and please grab our latest issue of Parents magazine featuring the remarkable Pinky Gelani and Raj and the beautiful family, among other interviewees that we had amazing stories about. Please check us out at epaper.parentsafrica.com. I will tell you that, and subscribe to this channel. We had so much fun, and I wish you all happy Father's Day. We love you, we care for you and your family. Bye.